Just days before America lights up the sky with fireworks, the courtroom spotlight has turned white hot, and Sean "Diddy" Combs is standing dead center. The rap mogul, once hailed as the architect of a hip-hop empire, now faces some of the darkest allegations of his career, including arson, kidnapping, and sex trafficking tied to a federal RICO case. But as prosecutors prep their final words and the jury gets ready to deliberate, a new twist has emerged. The clock is ticking, not just toward a verdict, but toward the 4th of July. With a holiday break looming and the courthouse shutting down on July 3rd and 4th, jurors are now staring down a brutally compressed schedule. That means one thing. Either they race to a decision before the holiday or spend their red, white, and blue weekend stuck in fluorescent-lit deliberation rooms instead of backyard barbecues. And if you think that kind of pressure doesn't influence outcomes, think again. This isn't just a battle of facts, it's a countdown to freedom. And the stakes, both legal and personal, couldn't be higher. This isn't just a courtroom drama, it's the unraveling of a hip-hop dynasty. Sean "Diddy" Combs, once the untouchable king of bad boy records and the driving force behind some of the biggest names in music, now finds himself facing allegations that sound more like a Netflix crime thriller than the life of a Grammy-winning mogul. For decades, Diddy defined success in the entertainment world. Jet-setting, fashion-forward, and seemingly invincible. But today he's not headlining arenas. He's at the center of a RICO case that could stain his legacy forever. The gravity of the charges isn't lost on anyone. Allegations of sex trafficking, arson, including a chilling incident tied to rapper Kid Cudi, and kidnapping stretch far beyond scandal. They strike at the very core of public trust. And because Diddy isn't just another celebrity, he's a symbol of reinvention, power, and survival in Black American culture. This trial has become a lightning rod. Fans are torn, the industry is silent, and the courtroom has become a battleground not just for justice, but for reputation. And that's what makes this trial so gripping. It's not just about whether he did it, it's about what it means if he did. The higher the celebrity, the louder the fall. And as closing arguments begin, the world isn't just asking, is he guilty? It's asking, what happens to everything he built if he is? With the stakes sky high and the clock ticking, the prosecution has made a quiet but potentially game-changing move. And it's all about what the jury hears. In a letter filed to the judge just days before the closing arguments, prosecutors asked to streamline the jury instructions, cutting out language about attempted crimes like attempted arson and attempted kidnapping. On the surface, it might sound like legal fine print, but in a case this massive, every word counts, and this isn't cleanup, it's strategy. Instead of cluttering the jury's minds with half measures, the prosecution wants to zero in on what they say actually happened. Full-scale crimes, not failed attempts. They're not trying to prove what Diddy tried to do. They're saying he did it. By removing attempted from the narrative, they're tightening the focus, making the charges sharper, cleaner, and harder to argue against. It's courtroom minimalism at its most ruthless. And it's smart. With 4 total charges, including a sprawling RICO indictment packed with layers of alleged criminal behavior, jurors already face a mountain of legal complexity. The clearer the instructions, the more likely the prosecution can guide them straight to a conviction. It's the kind of move that keeps a jury from getting lost in the legal weeds and keeps the case pointed like a missile. This isn't about simplifying for convenience. It's about controlling the story, even at the final hour, when the verdict could hinge on fatigue, confusion, or even just the rush to finish before the holiday. The side that tells the clearest story has the best chance to win. Inside the courtroom, the charges are serious. But outside, the calendar might be even more intimidating. With the 4th of July looming, time isn't just a factor, it's a force. The court will shut down on July 3rd and 4th, meaning the jury has a razor-thin window to deliberate. Either they lock in a verdict by Wednesday, or they risk spending the holiday back in court while the rest of the country celebrates. That looming disruption isn't lost on anyone. After 4 grueling weeks of testimony, 34 witnesses, and high-profile headlines, the jury is exhausted. They've already surrendered sunny days and weekends to courtroom walls. Now, the idea of losing a coveted 4-day weekend, with fireworks, family, and freedom on the line, adds a whole new layer of pressure. No one wants to trade barbecue and beaches for subpoenas and stale coffee. And here's the kicker. The judge is playing hardball. He's already warned that if deliberations drag, he could summon a skeleton court staff and force jurors to return during the holiday. It's the legal equivalent of a timeout, only with more tension and fewer snacks. That kind of threat doesn't just motivate juries to act, it forces consensus, fast. We've seen it before. When big holidays loom, hung juries suddenly find clarity. People don't want a mistrial, they want a break. It may sound absurd, but when you're stuck in a stuffy room arguing over evidence, a long weekend starts to look like justice too. So now this isn't just a legal countdown, it's a race between verdict and vacation. And in that race, even the smallest hesitation could mean giving up the biggest break of the summer. As the jury room doors close, the nation holds its breath. But inside, the real fireworks are just beginning. 12 strangers, drained from weeks of witness testimony, media noise, and emotional exhaustion, must now come to a unanimous decision on charges that could define the legacy of one of hip-hop's most iconic figures. But consensus isn't easy when the stakes are this high and time is this short. There's no way they'll all agree immediately. Expect heated debates, sharp divides, and the kind of psychological pressure only a jury can understand. Some may be convinced Diddy's guilty on everything. Others might think the RICO charge is a stretch. There will be skeptics, holdouts, and maybe even a few who just want it over, fast. And with the July 4th shutdown looming like a ticking bomb, the pressure to wrap it up is real, and it's heavy. This is where human nature takes the stand. Will the desire to see fireworks and feel freedom tilt the scales? Will social pressure in the jury room nudge a few toward just agree already? Or will someone, one lone juror, hold the line, demanding deeper scrutiny no matter how many holiday plans are on the line? And beyond the courtroom, the public is fractured too. Some fans are ready to cancel Diddy completely. Others believe he's being targeted. Everyone's got a take. But only 12 people have the power to decide. So now, we wait. The trial may be ending, but the verdicts wait. On culture, on justice, on celebrity accountability is just beginning. Will the jury deliver justice, or will the summer heat push them toward a faster finish? One thing is certain. By the time the fireworks light the sky, Sean Combs' future may already be in ashes, or, miraculously, untouched. No matter which way the jury leans, this trial won't be the end of the story. It's just the fuse. If Diddy walks free, expect shockwaves. For his supporters, it'll be vindication. For his critics, fury. And if he's found guilty, the fallout will be massive. Endorsements lost, civil lawsuits reignited, and the music industry forced to reckon with one of its most powerful architects suddenly turned pariah. But here's the real twist. Even a partial conviction could split the headlines wide open. The RICO charge alone is heavy. It's the kind of charge reserved for organized crime bosses. And yet, even if the jury delivers a split verdict, the court of public opinion won't wait. Fans, former collaborators, and industry insiders are already preparing for both outcomes, and the media storm is only growing stronger. And don't forget, more alleged victims, more sealed files, and possibly more charges still hang in the air. Even if this chapter ends, a sequel could already be in the works. So, as the nation counts down to Independence Day, the biggest question in pop culture isn't just whether Diddy is guilty, it's whether this trial marks his downfall or simply the next stage in a battle far from over. The clock is ticking, the courtroom is quiet, but behind closed doors a verdict is being written, not just in law books, but in the legacy of a man who once ruled music and now fights for freedom, one juror at a time.